A beautiful evening to you, sir.
Good evening, Champagne, and good evening to all our listeners, to all St. Lucians far and wide who are listening. Um, our people in the diaspora, I want to say a special good night to all of them, all our listeners, not just to Sky FM, but those following us on Facebook
That's
and
right.
also on GVD TV. I think GVD is doing very well. Quite a few people are commenting on what is happening. So I am happy to be here inside Castries Southeast because it's a Monday night and it's the time when we come in to delve into the matters pertaining to the constituency. I am very happy, Champagne, that I can be here despite the circumstances that exist today. And so tonight I want to send special greetings to Brother Jean. I think he called me. He's not a man who calls radio stations at all, but he
Yeah.
called me last week. He's from Forestier, and also Mr. Terrence and Maurice James. Maurice James is a regular listener to the program, and also my brother. In fact, my brother's granddaughter called me a few weeks ago and told me um, it was about 2 hours before the program began, and my brother was already sitting there waiting to listen to the
Yeah.
program and ask me whether I was going to be
Right.
on. That's my brother Samuel Joseph, better known as Swin. Um, Also, I want to say a special good night to Roy from Coolitown. I
Yeah.
think
I
you
met
met
Roy.
Roy the
I met
last
Roy.
time we
Yes.
were around.
Great guy.
And also a young man in Worcester, in Boston, by the name of Naim. Naim lives with Janelle up in Worcester. And so I'm saying a special good night. And let me tell you, they tell me, Champagne, there was a big celebration with Tifwe and the crew up in Worcester.
Yeah.
In fact, I was told that the time that we played or when we mentioned his name, he did a recording of it and he was
Happy for that.
and he was so happy that the
Yes.
prime minister was on the same day when we said good night to him. So Tifwe, I want you to know that we very much appreciate that you are listening to the program. And no matter what happens, I just want the people of St. Lucia to know wherever you are in the world, home is always home.
Oh.
St. Lucia will always be
Oh,
home.
yes.
And so I just want to assure you all that I am happy to know that all of you are following the program wherever you are, in whatever part of the world that you are in. And so we really appreciate all of them for listening and following. And you know, they have influence over their own people in St. Lucia and what they are doing. So I am very happy. So we have Titus Matre. He has a plumbing company. We did mention that in Connecticut. We have Andy and we have Tifwe. So Tifwe, I'm giving you a shout out tonight again because we know that you are listening to that program also.
So it looks like you will get into trouble if you don't give these guys a shout out.
No, I think they understand.
Okay.
They understand.
Yeah.
So also today I visited a section in my constituency in the community of Bexon, where that's just at the back of the Baptist church. Now, this Baptist church is not very visible like the other churches, but I don't know if you know where that Baptist church
Oh,
is.
yes. Isn't that the one by the bridge, next to the bridge? No?
No.
Oh, that's the Adventist church.
Yes,
Yes,
the
yes.
Baptist church is just after you pass the Mac Junction
Uh-huh.
and you go in towards the gas station.
Right.
It's on the right hand side on the hill there. It's almost shielded by some trees
Oh, boy, I never
in
saw
that
it.
area. So
never saw it.
there is actually a Baptist church
Oh.
in that area.
So that is right past the Jehovah Witness before the Jehovah
past Jehovah
Oh,
Witness,
okay.
past the Mark Junction, going
Okay.
towards the gas station,
All
the
right.
Shell gas
Right,
station,
right.
the Salt gas station in Bexon. So I was in the area there, and there's a bakery where they make some very nice bread. And
You have to be careful with that bread thing,
Huh?
Because some people don't eat bread. You have to be careful.
Well, fortunately, I did not have a suit, so I could.
You could have bought some.
I could have. In fact, I ate some very hot bread with
Yes.
cheese.
Oh, great.
Let me tell you that the gentleman I was with was actually there. He had his cheese in a bag.
Okay.
And we got some really hot bread.
Right.
So I did promise the people at the Terville's Bakery that I would give them a shout out tonight. So it's a place that, and the bread is very, very tasty. For people who like hot bread, that's a place that you can. Now, Champagne, you never know they have a bakery inside there. Because there's no
indication.
Drivable road inside there that you can access. And it was a mud track that they had to walk on to get to the bakery. And we just put in a nice concrete footpath in there.
Wow.
Hopefully one of the projects that we are going to highlight in the coming days would be that that area.
How many people live in there? What's the residence like? Not too many?
No, there are good 12, 15 houses inside there or more. But there are two concrete roads that I built on either side, but neither one of them, so the people can access a certain section from the concrete road.
Right.
But the main path they use is between, and because of the way the houses are built, there's no way of taking a road in there. So there's one road before the Baptist church, and there's another concrete road after the Baptist church. But it's passing along the fence of the Baptist church.
But it's motorable, no?
No.
Oh, just footpath.
A footpath.
Oh, okay, great.
A footpath. So,
right.
Really, tonight, Champagne, before I go into the key deliberations pertaining to Castries Southeast, is to highlight what is happening with the COVID-19 spread in St. Lucia. And I don't know how much more we can say or we can do to help people come to terms with what is expected. You know, some people, as the PM and I, we did we went a few places yesterday just to monitor some of the behaviors, and not so much to have a problem with people, but to just analyze what is happening on the ground and how things are moving, and people's reaction towards the protocols. By and large, I think other than wearing the mask and the social distancing, that is our biggest area of problems. And people feel very comfortable in the places where they are most vulnerable, which is people that they are comfortable with. And I will highlight a couple experiences that I had today in my own constituency when I went around. But we have come under a lot of pressure as a government. People label governments and try to say all kinds of things. Former President Trump called it the China virus. In St. Lucia, people want to make it as if this is a virus that originated in St. Lucia, or we brought it to St. Lucia. I mean, the level at which people operate is something that is astonishing. And I did try and get the line several times this morning to make a contribution on that video that was circulating. It's unfortunate, but this has been the behavior in St. Lucia for a long time, not just with corona. The issues with obeying the laws, abiding by what, it's amazing that we still blame ancestors and we still blame our heritage and all kinds of things for the silly decisions that we make today. Yeah. And I ask myself, so the debate and the discussion in St. Lucia today is, should the country go on a lockdown? Should the country remain open? My question is, and I try to evaluate things, not just because I'm in government, but because I have always been a community person. I've always been involved in things on a national level. From my days in the Minibus Association, growing up in the community, being part of sports clubs and groups and different things that I have always been involved in. And I try my best not to allow people to think for me. That is why I sometimes take a hard line. I always tell people, Champagne, I get into more trouble for speaking the truth than anything else. Because a lot of people don't like the truth. They like information that is convenient. And if you tell them the truth, and that's not what they want to hear, then they have a problem. Because most times when people come and ask you for advice, it is not advice they want, it is approval. And generally people go to the persons who would condone what they do and how they do it, and they just want some reinforcement for their behavior. And if you are going to tell them, look, what you propose in there, I don't think that's good, and I don't think that's right, rest assured they're not coming back to you for advice again. Because it's not advice they wanted in the first place. It was approval. So you just want me to condone. So I've been trying to analyze what we are called upon to do and what the government is called upon to do. So what is the responsibility of the citizen? And what is my responsibility as a citizen first and foremost? Because outside of being a minister of government, I am a citizen of St. Lucia. And my first responsibility is as a citizen. Yes, I ought to lead by example. And even when I may not feel comfortable about doing certain things, if that's the law, that's what I have to do. And I understand. So wearing a mask is not the most comfortable thing, especially for us in St. Lucia. There are other countries in the world, nobody requires them to wear a mask, but they wear a mask just because of the level of pollution. There are people in their field of work, they are required to wear a mask. And there is a price that we are paying in St. Lucia. So as a banana farmer, I can speak to that. When they brought in Gramaxone, and there was another thing, I don't know the English name for it, but we used to call it Luil Inject. It used to come in a big blue thing, like almost like a vaccine. And it had a sharp end, and you would put it into the root of the banana tree, and you would, when you press down the top of it, it would, so it's similar to an injection that releases. And we used to call that Luil Inject. That used to kill frogs, that used to kill everything in its way. Then we had things like Firodan and Vidit and all of the things. We had Gramaxone. All of these products that was given to us came with instructions on how to use it. We generally, I used to spray 3 drums of water a day as a farmer. So, and in those days, you used to pay $50 to spray a drum of water. So you could have made $150 in one day as a farmer just spraying bananas, spraying under the bananas, with the Gramaxone for the grass. What I have observed over the years, and after many years, after a while, you would wash these jerry cans, plastic jerry cans, and we would carry water to drink from these jerry cans. Now, with plastic and with Gramaxone and these other chemicals, it is never really completely out of it.
No.
I want to believe that some of the very rare cancers and other things that we are seeing in St. Lucia, maybe some of them can be traced back to some of these things that have happened in the banana industry.
Materials,
But you know why? Imagine you spray your hand in the water. Your pores are absorbing the Gramaxone. When you spray, depending on the direction of the wind, because sometimes if the hill is a bit steep and you don't want to go up, you raise the nozzle and you spray it.
Right.
And that wind blows that back into your face and you breathe that in. Because you know what? There was all the equipment that we were supposed to use. We never used the equipment. And we pay the price later on down the road. It's not different with COVID today,
I see why you're bringing all this to make the point.
We are telling people, look here, wear your mask, protect yourself. Today I had an encounter with a set of people, and when they were coming to talk to me, and you remember I said that that for us as politicians, it's a challenge. Because when you tell people, look here, hold it there, where is your mask? Oh, I don't have COVID. I say, I never said you had COVID. All I said is, you need to wear your mask. And from the numbers, I don't know, I may not be very correct on that. But if I am the only one wearing my mask, and the other person is not wearing their mask, the level of protection is minimal. Whereas if both of us are wearing our mask and we maintain our social distancing, then the level of safety increases to about 70%. So, we are telling people, wear your mask, maintain your social distance, sanitize regularly. What is so difficult about that? What is so challenging about doing this? What is the big mountain that we are asking people to climb? Is that too much to ask of a population of civilized, intelligent people? Because the level of ignorance that people want to attribute, I don't attribute it to ignorance. I just believe that people just want to do whatever they feel like doing. It's not out of ignorance.
I don't think so.
But, so let's weigh that against shutting down the country. So, if we shut down the country, and note my words, if, I never, because some people will go and interpret it tomorrow and say, the minister was there and he said we're shutting down the country. I have not said we are shutting down the country. I'm giving a hypothetical situation. If we are to shut down the country, does that make people wear their mask? Does that make them practice social distancing? Does it mean that they are going to sanitize and wash their hands on a regular basis? So let's weigh that one against the other and tell me which one is easier to do. To follow these basic protocols. Now, if a decision is made to shut down the country, what happens? Now you have all of these people. You have a house with 2 rooms, 2 bedrooms, and a living room, sometimes housing 6 or 8 people. All of these people are in the house for the whole day. What do you expect them to do? They will sit in the house for the whole day? Wouldn't they find other activities to engage in? We've seen the river limes. We've seen the sitting on the block. We've seen the going to the beach. Will we have police officers to go and monitor everybody to make sure you don't come out of your house? How are we going to manage that? So when I evaluate the situation, the options before us are very simple. It is much easier and will accomplish a lot more in the control of the spread of the coronavirus if we maintain our social distancing as we have in the studio now, Champagne. Because there's more than 6 feet between us.
Limit,
Exactly. We practice the sanitizing, which you have the sanitizer right on the desk.
That's right. You have your mask. I have all my.
And we wear our mask. So, with these three things that we are asking, you are saying some people out there advancing, shut down the economy, shut down the country. Can we really feed ourselves? I was having a discussion with somebody and they told me, look, and I believe that there are some people who cannot go to the supermarket and shop for a week.
Oh, that's for sure.
And this is further compounded by the coronavirus and the number of people who are unemployed. So you no longer have that NIC system where people who are out of work will get a stipend from NIC. The businesses that help people during that time themselves are struggling. And I will come to the issue of government resources and the foolishness being spoken about by the leader of the opposition. And I try not to go down that road when it comes to my colleagues in parliament. But some things you cannot describe it as anything more than foolishness. Because nobody with any level of common sense would say the nonsense that passes for politics. And if that's the category of politicians, then I should not be a politician. Because I don't want to be labeled in that category. And I challenge people to show me what I have said during my 15 years in politics that I cannot defend and I cannot substantiate and I cannot back, at least with some evidence. So, it is easy for people to say things when they're not in charge. But you just have to go and check their record when they are in charge. So, I want the people of St. Lucia to take a little moment and weigh what is before us. There are people who have not earned a salary from March last year to now. But we are saying, shut down the country. Sometimes these people make $10 or $20. And that is when they run to a little shop in the community, buy a couple tins of tuna, maybe buy a couple pounds of chicken, buy 2 pounds of rice, maybe buy a hand of green bananas. Because you know green bananas is in the supermarket, you have to get it now. Or from a vendor by the roadside. And that is what they have to provide for their family. So it is easy for some people to come and say, shut down the country because they have received their barrels. The same people who are quarreling about the barrels, they received their barrels. We have extended the barrel concession. If you shut down the country, how these barrels are coming in?
That's right. And even if you have them at the sheds, how would you be able to go get them?
Who is going to go and get them out? So, you know, we have to weigh this thing. We have to come to the point to realize when we shut down the country in the first instance was to help manage the process, to keep out the virus, to do the things that was necessary because there was a clear indication that the world was just beginning to respond. A vaccine had not been identified yet. There was no clear line of the full impact of the virus. So you had to take all the precautionary measures. We did not have the facility to accommodate people. We did not have the Cuban doctors and nurses here yet. There were lots of things that was not in place, and not just for St. Lucia, Because some people will turn around and say, oh, we said you are the worst prepared. America had people lying down. They had to put tents all in the corridors of the hospital. The best countries in the world could not respond. So why? Why are we behaving today as if we are in the same situation that we were in April of last year? We were able to raise revenue. We were able to subsidize people. We were able to get groceries that some people got. And everybody who needed did not get. So I don't want people to go back and say, oh, the minister was on the television and the radio, and he said everybody did not get. We had the food baskets that was being prepared, the food boxes. First of all, we started doing the hot meal. Then we realized, but how many meals you give into a house? So we started giving the boxes of food to the various households. All of these things are not readily available today. So if we are to go on a shutdown, the implications are going to be worse than it was initially. So we have to weigh that against the backdrop of wearing your mask, sanitizing, and maintaining your social distance. We've taken the appropriate steps. Socialization is the biggest problem in the spread of the virus. It is not at the workplace that the spread is the greatest. And we can check the statistics. We can do the contact tracing. If one person gets it from the workplace, it is because they did not follow the protocols. Because the workplaces have protocols. And St. Lucians don't understand distance. You tell them to line up.
Oh, yeah.
You put the stickers on the ground to highlight where they should stand. Yeah. And a lady was just telling me, she was in the supermarket, and the person who was behind her kept on coming all the way to her shoulder, right to her back. There's a big stand there. There's an arrow pointing. But we do not want to follow directions. But no government can wave no magic wand and fix the corona problem that we have. Nobody in the world, if it could have been done, there are those who are better than us in the world who would have done it.
Oh, yeah.
The best countries. When I looked at the US today, what has happened? The highest number of deaths in any single month happened last month.
Yeah.
In a day, the highest number. So when we are thinking, and you know, I keep on saying to people, sometimes we place more importance on ourselves than we really have. More than twice the population of St. Lucia have died from corona in the US.
That's right.
So you think if the US cannot keep their own people alive, is you and I, they will think of how to keep us alive?
Never.
We are responsible for ourselves. And we saw what happened with the ventilators. Even when the ventilators was purchased by Caribbean countries, and it was needed in the first world countries, they confiscated it. They took it and they said, no, our people first. It's not leaving our country and coming to you. So I want our people. I'm appealing to all St. Lucians. Everywhere. Big and small. Nga pale by tout moun St. Lucie. Whether c'est grand moun, c'est jeunesse, et qu'espoisement c'est jeunesse là. Because c'est jeunesse là d'où ça pas ka affecte yo. Moi ka appeal pour tout le monde. An nous faire ça qui plieze pour nous faire. An wete distance 6 pieds hod yon a lot. An me mas nous, depuis nous ka sorti, pièce côté nous ka aller, et even delele nous a kay la nécessaire pour servir mas là, parce que si un moun a kayou sorti et qui aller pour un transport, il descend en ville, ou pas sa bo ki moun y assis à bo bus là, ou pas sa qui ça y fait, qui manière y comporter koy. So, nous ni pour prendre précaution. Ça c'est pas bail qui trop difficile. Gouvernement pas mandé moun pour payer l'argent. Gouvernement pas mandé moun pour ay l'audience. Simple en bay qui simple comme ça nous mandé pour moun faire. Mais à masse exchange anti distance hod yon a l'autre. Ek laver la main souvent, ça c'est popté.
You know, there's something that 90% of the people do, of our people do. We go home at the 7 o'clock news, the evening news, and watch the numbers, because at least 90% of our people do that every evening. And they see those numbers skyrocketing, 80, 76. But you know, the next day people still get along, go back to the same crowds. They see the numbers at night, 76, 70, 45, but the next day everyone will buy the bars again.
It's like drugs, Champagne. Everybody believes that it's not going to happen to me. So you see, everybody who's on crack cocaine, how they end up. But you still believe you can take it, and that will never happen to you. And by the time you check yourself, you are there. We are the most exposed.
Let me tell you what I saw. The rum shop are closed. All of the shops are closed for now. And on Jeremy Street, you know, the guys still come out there and hang out. There's no way they could get the purchase of alcohol, but they still sit there.
No, Champagne,
I could not believe that.
It's worse than that. There are people who they open the rum shops, they are inside and they close the doors and the windows so nobody sees them.
That is even worse.
But that's what I'm telling you. Worse. So they're in a little confined space in a rum shop. I mean, I am telling you, if St. Lucia cannot give up drinking alcohol for 2 weeks, we have more problems on our hands than we can begin to dream of.
Oh, yeah.
And if anybody think that any government, whether Flabo or Labour, can fix that problem, we better begin to reevaluate ourselves and where we are. Because we are fast becoming a nation of alcoholics.
Oh, yes.
Because some people can take 10 drinks before they get drunk. And other people, they'll take 2 drinks. And they have some of them, they say, but
then the problem is not even being drunk. The problem is what you're putting into your body. You are damaging all of your organs of your body.
But I'm not just looking at it. I'm just saying that for us not to have the self-discipline to restrain ourselves, and I'm not talking about hardcore alcoholics who have to go for treatment, you know. I'm talking about everyday, upright, good-standing citizens who work in prominent jobs in the best places.
Yeah.
And they cannot leave work and go home without stopping at a bar, without taking a drink. I'm saying that we have a problem. Now, people tell you as politicians, if you say that you will lose votes. Well, I would rather lose a vote and tell the St. Lucian the truth about where we are than to tell people lies to gain a vote from them. Because at the end of the day, the lies will not just catch up with them, it will catch up with me. So, I think that we need to reevaluate where we are as a country. I want the churches to be more vocal on this thing. I think the churches have been doing an excellent job within their congregations. But I think that we need their voice more out there. We need every club, every group, every sporting organization, every civil society organization. This is not a UWP problem. This is not an Alan Chasney problem. The people who are lying on the hospital bed today, it's not Alan Chasney lying down there. We are exposed. And I was saying, the frontline workers, because I sat and I thought about it for a moment. These nurses, doctors, policemen, firemen, ambulance drivers, the wardens that we have out there, all, and I try not to mention names because I don't want to forget. The cleaners in the various departments of government, in the various workplaces, the minibus drivers, the commuters, everybody has a family. Everybody at the end of the day, they have a house to go to. And if they are not careful during the day, you think we should be putting our medical people, and I applaud the medical team, for almost a whole year, March, 2 months from now, Champagne, will be 1 year. Some of these people have been under that level of strain and pressure, and something is going to give in. If we are not mindful, we will not get the care that we need, because the people who we need to give us the care themselves are burning out. We are not like the countries who have thousands of people to do the job. The Cubans who came here, some of them they've been here almost a year. They have families. They have to go back and visit their families. What happens during the time that they are out? So, when people think that, oh, say, book gouvernement sa just vle moun me mas. Today I was telling you, I observed something. I went to a community in my constituency. I will choose not to name the community. I went to a particular community, and I saw one of the Labour Party candidates there in the area. He had his mask on, which was commendable. But he was talking to a whole set of people, and none of them had their mask on. I walked down the road. I saw his vehicle by the road. I didn't know he was there. I walked down the road because I had scheduled that visit the day before.
Yeah.
And there was a young man in the area that I had to see, so I had scheduled. And we are doing a piece of road in that community. We are doing the road repairs. And one of the ladies was coming to me to talk to me, and I said, hey, you don't have your mask, you cannot come and talk to me. And she stopped, and she said, but I don't have corona. I said, but I didn't say you have corona. I'm just saying that you don't have your mask. You cannot come and talk to me. If you want to speak to me, you go and put on your mask, and then you come and talk to me. Another one was coming, and several of them. There were a group of young fellas in the area. We had an extensive conversation. They gave me a lot of chats about the youth and what I have not done for the youth. And it was very engaging, back and forth. But they all went and put on their masks to have that conversation. Now, this is not a fight that one person can win. But I can tell you, you see this Labour Party that we have in St. Lucia? They don't care if everybody die in St. Lucia. Once they are elected into government, that's what they call. I don't know who they're going to govern over. No. And I've said it. This Labour Party will burn St. Lucia. And they will sit over the ashes.
Yes, sir.
That is what they would do. They don't care. Because, and I will deal with that. I'm looking forward to a sitting of Parliament where I can take time and develop everything that I have to say about this thing. Because I've refrained from doing this. But when I watch the behavior, when I watch the attitude, I said it before, they want chaos. They wanted, you see what's happening there with Corona? They wanted it to happen. You remember the talk show when they called the gentleman at the hospital?
Oh, yeah.
And it was purported that they called the gentleman and they said the man don't have corona. Can you believe that after the medical team would have done 3 different tests on an individual, that a talk show host would engage that person and play a telephone conversation to say they don't have corona? And you know, there are still a lot of people in St. Lucia who tell you, Lapan corona.
Yeah, it's true.
But that is what the Labour Party is doing, because they don't care if you die. What their concern is, how am I going to get into office? So they will put on their mask to protect themselves, but I more souvely.
Yeah.
The UWP administration that I am a part of is different. We want to protect the people of St. Lucia. We want the people of St. Lucia to do what is necessary to protect themselves. That is how you govern. You don't govern, and yes, the opposition can say what they want. Their behavior speaks for itself. They were more concerned about a match than they were about the well-being of people. And I don't want St. Lucians to forget. You know what they did? They blocked what was happening in Parliament. First of all, they walked out. The same people who call in for a shutdown today. When we went to introduce the state of emergency, what was the song that they sang? So you can take these people serious? They don't believe themselves. I don't know why St. Lucians would believe them. If a man lies to you every time he speaks to you, why would you believe on this occasion he's speaking the truth? Because they say, when you call wolf, wolf every time, and there's no wolf, the day the wolf really comes, even if you say wolf, wolf, people will not believe you. I mean, you have to understand how these fellas orchestrated what they did. They walked out of Parliament, hoping that there would not be sufficient numbers so that you would have a quorum to continue the sitting of Parliament. We were able to proceed with the bill. The same bill that they present Barbados for today is the same bill. Go and look at the contents of the bill and you would see what's in it. What did they do further? They boycott the Senate. And they say they have 2 independent senators. I can say that without fear of criticism. There are no independent senators.
I've said that here.
Because you know why? There's no way an independent, all of a sudden 2 independent senators got sick. And I saw the messages that was posted. So I know. Now, when people call, is one thing you don't lie about, is sickness.
Oh, yeah.
Because Saumade, c'est Saurajon. When the independent senators did not show up to be able to pass a piece of legislation, and you know why all of that was done? So that the protocols would not be in place, so they could have proceeded with a match. When a man who wants to lead a country will go to that extent to have a protest match in the wake of a national crisis, a worldwide pandemic that is taking the whole world by storm, crippling the best countries and the best health systems in the world. And you are telling me, today you want to come and tell people, oh, let's take this thing serious. I am waiting for when we are going to Parliament and you would hear the song they would be singing again. Because you know, we must open our eyes. You see, in this country, I have been around both political parties. I can speak from a position of knowledge and information. These fellas are dangerous for St. Lucia.
They are. Very.
If anybody who can do something like this, they would do anything to cripple the economy. You remember they said they would write to foreign investors and tell them, don't invest in this country.
Their own country.
This time around, what they have said, everybody who's buying a CIP, the same CIP money we need to help do things in St. Lucia, they are saying that they are going to review people and they are going to revoke people. And they know they cannot do that, you know. But they are doing this to scare people so that St. Lucia would not raise money. So you know what the people are doing? They go to St. Kitts, they go to Dominica. I was speaking to a fella from Dubai who wanted to buy a St. Lucian citizenship. He said to me, but look at what is being said. If I buy a citizenship in St. Lucia, it can be revoked by another government that comes in. So you know what? I'm going to buy one in St. Kitts. But when I buy it in St. Kitts, I have the same rights as an OECS citizen to St. Lucia. So I can still come to St. Lucia and do any business in St. Lucia. But you know who gets the 200,000 US or how much he pays, send kids.
Send kids.
That is what the Labour Party does to St. Lucia. They don't care. They have no heart for the people of St. Lucia. And that is the challenge. So I appeal to our people in St. Lucia. Let us do what we have to do. It is not, I don't see how shutting down will solve the problem, but I'm one person. It's a team of people making the decisions. I want people to know that we have to strike the balance, and we are trying to. I believe we can bring this corona thing under control. It is not out of control. It's growing. If we don't do the things we have to do, it will continue to grow, but this is a matter of personal responsibility.
You know, Mr. Minister, it doesn't matter how much you preach. And I remember myself and Brother Norbert Williams, from the onset, March of last year, we have been on this radio station. We spent hours, 6 hours at a time, up until today. Continue to ask people to follow the protocols, and you still find people don't. It's not like people are not having, you know. People are just not adhering to the protocols.
So I have two quotes to share with you tonight. From Proverbs 29:12. It says, if a ruler listens to lies, all his officials become wicked.
If a ruler
Listens to lies, all his officials become wicked. And that's from the New International Version of the Bible.
Yeah.
Now what? If a ruler listens to lies. Now, it says listens to lies. So what if a ruler is only telling lies? What happens? So, now there's a difference between getting a figure right, misinformation, maybe you are given information that is not so. But when people lies are when you go out and you deliberately set out to mislead people. You deliberately use information in a manner to deceive. And that is what this Labour Party has been doing. Everything they have been doing is to deceive the people of St. Lucia. And I challenge them, and I tell you, one of these days I'm coming with the boxes of the report from Robert Lindquist. And I will show you all the boxes. And I hope that the Attorney General's office will make it available for everybody in St. Lucia who want to read it, and to see what it says about Guy Joseph. Yeah. Nothing. But the second quote I want to give you is from Proverbs 16:25, which says, there is a way that seems right to a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. In our own eyes, we always think we know what is best and what is right. I have seen the CMO come under a lot of attack by all kinds of persons who say that they are giving false information, that they are flambeau, that they are this, that they are that. So somebody is designing, so somebody is making it look like people have. So the people who are at the respiratory hospital, and those who are moved to Auberge Seraphine during the weekday, and the people who are isolated at home, is somebody that make them have COVID? So it's the CMO that come up with a story and the lab substantiated the story? Can you believe that this is the level of discussion that is taking place in a country with 2 Nobel laureates?
Yeah.
That is the level at which we are discussing things. I mean, anyway, let's go to constituency matters.
Yeah. Well,
because I believe that I have said it the best way that I can to encourage our people to follow the protocols.
Yeah.
The best solution to COVID is to observe the protocols.
I try not to interrupt.
Not just shutting down the country, not the vaccine, because the vaccine offers you some protection. What they said, the
90.
second dose will give you up to 94%. What happens to the other 6%? Because nothing is 100%.
That's right.
But you see the protocols, it can make up for the balance of the percentage. So even after we get the vaccine and we do the things that are required, there's still a need to observe the protocols, the basic practices. You ever have a drunk person speaking to you in your face?
Oh, yeah.
And the spit, the saliva from their mouth ends up on your lips. If your mouth is open, it ends up in your mouth at the time. Huh? And people make it, because, you know, I try to move sideways, and drunk people, they cannot speak soft. I don't think they hear themselves very well when they are drunk. So they speak very loud. And I know that. I grew up with a father who was an alcoholic. I understand that. And that's why I tell people, not even shandy I drink.
You know, the member for the enemy North, I heard him in a statement talking about the bar owners. It's as if the government was never supposed to put the shutdown on the bar owners for that period of time. So one time they would say, well, the government should keep the place open. Another time they say they could keep it closed. They never know which side of the fence they're on.
It is, no, because we have to understand that Corona is a moving target. You'll always have moving targets. What works today may not work tomorrow. So you may make one decision today, and you have to change the decision tomorrow. For this week, for the last week there, we've had 3 or 4 cabinet meetings virtually. Because every day you have a different problem to deal with. Now, before I move to my constituency matters, you know, I was highlighting that all of our frontline workers, they have families. They put themselves at risk for us every day. For people who are careless, who want to drink a few drinks, who would not wear a mask. But when they reach the hospital, they want somebody to work some magic on them so that they can be well and go back home the next day. It doesn't work like that. We don't have miracle workers to go and touch people and tell them. And even for those who tell me God will protect them, I always tell them, God has always been there. But you know what? They had leprosy. And you know what leprosy was? Leprosy was a disease like that, you know. Anybody who was a leper, you know what they had to do? They had to shout out. If they were coming through the area, they had to shout out, leper, leper. So everybody would distance themselves from these persons. Corona is not to that extent. But you know the whole issue of sanitizing, of social distancing, and all. You know, all of that is in the Bible. If you go and read the book of Leviticus, it gives you strict instructions of some of the protocols, the very protocols that we are talking about. There's nothing new under the sun. And I watched in the Spanish flu, it was the same issue of wearing your mask, protecting yourself. So if you don't want to protect yourself, what can the police do? What can the doctors do? You think we have to have policemen? We should be paying wardens to go out there and tell people to wear their mask? Is that what? So I was saying, I feel for our frontline workers, and I really hope that what we have asked is not too much of the people. The other thing I want to say is, I'm concerned about the PM. The amount of hours this Prime Minister is putting into this thing to deal with that on a daily basis, I am very, very concerned. And I've told him that. He's a human being like all of us. He has the financial issues, there are social issues there. I mean, when you see the amount of time that the PM has put in this thing to deal with it, Champagne, it is alarming that one individual can have so much energy to deal with this matter. And I'm really very, very concerned. Not that he cannot do, but you know, that's what leadership brings you to. And leadership is usually a lonely place. Because when all of us, we are ministers, when we go to bed, we may fall asleep a lot easier than the Prime Minister does. Because all of the things revolve around him. And I want to applaud the people of St. Lucia, the churches, the groups, the program that you are having with prayers for the nation. That we need to keep the PM in our prayers. That God keeps him healthy and strong in the midst of all of that that is happening. Because we are all human beings. We are flesh and blood like everybody else. A lot is placed on our shoulder. And not for once have I heard the PM complain about all the things that he has to do. So I'm not coming and cry for sympathy for the PM. The PM has broad shoulders. Yeah. He's strong. But I also know that he's human. And anybody can bear that amount of weight, and eventually it gets to you. So I want to appeal to all right-thinking St. Lucians, because I know there are some out there who would prefer him to fall down and die tomorrow. That is the level at which our politics has gotten to in this country. But I know there are many more people who love him, who appreciates what he's doing, and who's praying for him. And I'm appealing that people would continue to pray not just for him, but for the entire health team. Because fatigue will kick in. You know, there's not a time I have called the CMO, whether at midnight, whether at 1 o'clock, whether at 7 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. Because I'm wondering to myself, sometimes I would just send her a message and say, if you're available, let me know. Yeah. And before I do that, she would call. And the Minister of Health, Minister Mary Isaac, I sent her a message, what night was that, about 1 o'clock in the morning. And I said, if you're up, we need to talk. And within minutes, she had responded to me. I said to her, why are you up at this hour? She said, but what choice do we have?
Well, they'll ask you the same thing. How come you are up at that time?
Because I am up late, but I don't wake up early.
Oh, okay.
But I look at the times they post messages, and I say, but these people don't sleep in. Yeah. And I'm saying this so that people, and I'm telling you, all politicians on both sides of the political divide make sacrifices. So I'm not saying that we do and the others don't. I'm just saying that the agenda is very different in terms of where the efforts are and why the efforts are being made. And so, for me as a citizen first, I have my responsibility. My responsibility is to make the burdens of these other people lighter by trying to follow as much as possible. But Champion, tomorrow any one of us can end up being exposed. I still have to go to my office. People are telling me that their vehicles, and I need to make that announcement tonight, their vehicle licenses that are due. And so I spoke to the Commissioner of Police today, and vehicle licenses that was due from the 15th of January to the end of February, we are asking the police to give them some grace. Now, if your vehicle was due last year, because we were having a problem at the transport department, because the police was doing some checks and people who had not paid their license from last year was now flocking into the ministry to be able to pay. And then that is exposing our staff. Yeah. And some of them behave in a very disorderly way. They get on, they fuss, because you can only take a certain number of people in the building at the same time. Yet still these same people who put their money at the bank, will go and take a line outside and conduct themselves in a way to go and take their own money, but they believe that they can be careless about how they did things, but everybody else is supposed to be at the beck and call.
Yeah.
And you know how many problems we've had in the transport department? So there are services that are available online, like the payment of your driver's license and these things. All services that are available online will not be available at the counter. We are asking people to use the services that are online. So for your driver's license, you can make the arrangement for payment online. But for the vehicle license, we've asked the police to give a little grace period. But if your vehicle was due 1st January, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, up to the 15th, you cannot say you did not have time to go and pay your vehicle driver's license all of that time because we were operating normal. So we've made that provision for persons. You cannot run your vehicle without insurance, so you must make sure your insurance is in place.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Minister, you notice I did not interrupt you with the message regarding the coronavirus because this is very, very important. And the Prime Minister have been up here several times warning the citizens of this country. You have been here several times warning, asking people to adhere to the protocols, but seem to be falling on deaf ears. What can we do?
Well, we can only continue to appeal to the good sense of people. Sometimes people don't listen to us because we are politicians, and that is why I'm calling on other persons to take a proactive approach. Somebody said precaution is better than cure. I say precaution is cure in this instance. Because if we take the precautions, then we'll never be sick to have to be treated with the coronavirus. So we need to build our immune system. We need to eat right. And there are lots of basic things that we need to take responsibility for. You know, in this country, we get to a point where everybody else is supposed to do things for us, but we feel that we are not obligated to do things for ourselves. And I'm really appealing to the people. I know that people like to lime at the bars, they like to sit on the block. If you are going to sit on the block, sit 6 feet distance from each other and wear your mask. And that is why I'm very concerned about a shutdown, Champagne, because if you shut down, you put everybody in idle mode. Nothing to do, no work to go, nothing. So what will they be doing? Anybody who has it already, you'd have more of a problem.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just saying that these are some of the things. Now, Champagne, I did promise the people that we are going inside Castries Southeast. Do we have any videos for tonight that we are going to show? Any videos?
Oh, yeah, we do have videos. We do have.
Okay, so maybe we can play 2 or 3 of them so that
Yeah.
the people can see inside Castries Southeast what is happening within the communities and hear from some of the people themselves how they feel about what is happening.
Yeah.
Anyone, you're free to go with. Yeah, we can go with Wavin Parcel. You know, somebody told me before you play that it was not, the original name was not Wavin Poisson, but it was Wavin Croissant.
Croissant.
Croissant is French
Meaning like a
because
bread.
of the mountain range that surrounds from the hills going across from Pitoflor going all the way back.
Oh,
so
the
I
shape.
have to do some research on that.
Okay.
But I was told by a resident of the community that it was originally Wavin Croissant.
Right.
And I guess somewhere it got
Based on the
lost in
shape,
translation and became Wavin Croissant.
All right. When you're ready, let us. All right, St. Lucia. So we are going to be showing you some footage of the works that have been going on regarding the minister's representation in the Castries Southeast constituency. So when you're ready.
positive net benefit to the community in so many different ways. When it comes to the minimizing on the flooding, or I would say practically eliminating the flooding.
A concrete drain will help with eliminating the spread of mosquito-borne diseases in the area. It will also assist the residents in beautifying around their homes and having a more secure foundation without any further land erosion.
The work that is being done is fantastic. It is good, and it's a long while we were waiting for it. It has come, and we accept it.
We have a lot of young men, about 10 to 15 at any given time, that are employed from before Christmas up to now, and they're grateful because it's a new year and they're already working. It's a testament to the type of representation we get from the Honorable Guy Joseph. He cares about the people, he cares about the well-being of the people, especially, well, I wouldn't say especially the young people, but I think there is this thing about him where he pays particular attention to the young people, because they are indeed, like the song says, they are our future.
So, Mr. Minister, this is that water is coming from the Badley area, because I think I know the area a little bit.
No, that water is coming more from the Sarot Sandife area.
Ah, okay, but it's from the hillside.
Yeah, from the hillside. From the hillside. So there are a couple little ravines up there, natural water
Yeah, the
sources
sources, yeah.
in that general area. So
You have anything else?
that is part of the DVRP project that we are doing to mitigate against the flooding in these areas.
Looks like a long drain. You wouldn't know how long that was. Looks like a good 100 feet or more, maybe.
Oh no, that's I think one is 75 meters, so you have to
That's
multiply
about
that
almost,
by
that's about
that.
200 and something
And
feet.
then the other one is about 150 meters.
Woo!
So
1 meter is over 3, so that's about over 300 feet.
oh yeah, much
Yeah,
more
yeah,
than 300
yeah,
feet
yeah,
of drainage
yeah.
is being done there presently.
Wow, beautiful.
We can go. We can go to another
let's
one.
continue to
The
another one.
pictures speak for themselves, and the people.
Yeah, yeah. And St. Lucia, this is what you call representation, not just talk. We don't just talk. We give you representation for all of the communities. And this is just one of the communities in Castries Southeast and all around the beautiful island. You will see the other parliamentarians will be up here showing you exactly of all of the beautiful work that have been done in the various communities.
erosion. We are also
All right. Some of the footage of inside Castries office. We have any more? Okay, so we do have some more. Mr. Minister, when you
the last one we watched there, Champagne, was the lighting of the Bel Air playing field.
Yeah.
And that is, I can tell you, had it not been for the COVID-19 situation, that is one of the most used playing fields. Even when there were no lights, I would go there 7 o'clock in the evening and the fellas are still there on the field. When we put the first light as a sample, the
Yeah.
fellas, and I can tell you that's one of the very, very active communities when it comes to sporting
Right.
activities in the area, both cricket and football.
All right.
And so I'm very happy that the lights are in place and the young men in the area can find somewhere to recreate without finding themselves in any problems.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to give you a little more footage. Mr. Minister, when you see, you stay at your home, or now you're looking at all those concrete roads, you see you are able to have these things done in the various communities. How does that make you feel, as not even as a parliamentarian, as a person?
It feels good that you can change the lives of people in a meaningful way.
Yeah.
And it's the quality, because over the years, the standard of work in the rural communities was kind of secondary. You do a little patch up here, you do a little this. I think, and it's primarily because of financing. So it's not a criticism of any government. It's more a matter of the resources that were available. And we were trying to stretch the resources to do as much as possible. But in the main areas, we are trying to bring the work up to a standard that whether you go to Cap Estate, you go to Rodney Heights, you go to Redry, you go to Mulashik in Vieux-Fort, you go to Soufre, wherever you go, you would see the quality of work. I mean, if you see what the kind of road that is being done, when you look at the road that Minister Bradley is doing in the Saltibus community and even in the Park Estate area, for many years the people of Park Estate had been promised the road. And you go to the various rural communities within the Choiseul community, you would see the extent of the work. When I went into Minister Dominick's constituency, and I see the works, and then yesterday I had the opportunity to go to Micoud North with my colleague Minister Gill. When I saw the amount of concrete roads that Minister Gill has done, I can tell you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, if you evaluate the work between Micoud North and Micoud South combined together, both at a national level and community level, I don't think that at any other period of time that you've had that extent of work being done. I mean, the health center is nearing completion, the school block, the playing field. When I pass in Deriso and I saw PM's artificial turf playing field, I mean, the works, what Estee is doing in January is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I have not even gone to what Spider has done because Spider is in a league by himself in terms of roadworks. And then you go to what Sarah has done in Central Castries. You see the looks of the CDC today. And I mean, people criticize, but you can look at the CDCs with some level of pride in terms of the appearance of the place. And now we are under pressure to paint the others because we've made these look so good.
Yeah.
What Sarah is doing with the Synergy project and the other things that she is doing to reach out, helping, training her people, and doing all of the farm program that she is doing down in the Roseau community with the people from her constituency. All of these are very vital projects. Well, you know, Minister King is... we don't even need to speak about Minister King because I don't think you get a better rep than you can
Something
get.
Something is always happening in
Minister
King.
King.
Always.
Exactly.
Always.
And Minister Ezekiel, I mean, Minister Ezekiel, if the roads, and I can just highlight roads, but all of the other programs of development, what he's doing in agriculture, because you have to look at these things not just from the standpoint of the projects being done. Remember, all of these persons I'm mentioning are ministers. They run ministries, and the impact of the ministry. I mean, I was just checking the stats, and the number of processing facilities that have been operationalized by Minister Ezekiel as Minister of Agriculture. So when I look at the West Belt, Minister Dominick and Slurry Canneries, Minister Herod. Well, Herod was here on a Wednesday. He spoke for himself and all the things that he has done. Then you go to Choiseul and see all. I mean, you see the lights that Minister Bradley put on the field, the number of schools that he has repaired, the number of footpaths, the drainage projects.
And there's something, Mr. Minister, that all of St. Lucia need to bear in mind or to consider. The time frame, 4.5 years. This has never happened before. It's unprecedented. Not even the great Sir John Compton did that in his time, in that short space of time. Sir John did a lot more, but not in that time
1
frame.
year of Corona.
And a year of Corona. Exactly. We need to ring the bell on that because 1 year of Corona had taken us out of all of that development. So we could basically say 3.5 years.
So, Champion, I don't look for excuses.
Yeah.
we can measure. Now, why am I highlighting the parliamentary reps who are part of government? Because that is what it is. And I challenge any Labour Party MP to come and match what we have done in our constituencies with what they did in their constituencies over the 10-year period. And they can take 10 years and we take 5 years.
Yeah, we take the 3.5, 4.
We can count 5 years and
All
just say, okay, let's evaluate. So when we talk about representation, so you go to Dennery, you see what Este has done in Dennery. Did you go and see the drainage?
Oh yeah, I just went by last week Friday.
And I know that we had just approved the balance of money to take that main drain all the way up to the highway.
Yeah.
And you saw the footpath that was just done
right
along
there on the highway. Yeah.
Yes. So all of these works put together, you can see that this is not a government looking for excuses. Remember when we came into government, the government could not raise money. The Labour Party could not raise money, and that is one of the issues. So after we'll watch maybe a couple more videos, and I will come to this bluff of wanting to give people money. I will show you where the bluff is in what the Labour Party is saying.
All right. Some more footage for you, St. Lucia, on some of the projects inside Castries office.
Piece of land that was acquired by government from Geese, and everybody in St. Lucia know the triumph that St. Lucians have gone through with that Geese lands and how they've been paying money, and government saw it was fitting to take over and at least to bring some peace and reprieve to the people of the community of Castries Southeast and also in the neighboring community of Millet. We are working on it expeditiously so that people could get somewhere to make their home and have some what they call theirs.
Bon, isa bon travay, i bon, ite pou ka ale pli loin. Ah ouais, but i bon travay la sa, bon travay.
About combien de femmes à dans ici? Hein?
Oh, là, il y a un chay femme ici, là, plus passé 12 femmes.
Moi, je suis toutes ces femmes qui ont bien apprécié ça.
Oui, on a apprécié, moi, ça veut apprécier un chay. Mais si vous voyez chez moi, de continuer à aller plus loin, comme moi-même, ni plus tard, moi, de apprécier plus toujours. Merci, moi, dis merci, moi, dis merci, moi, dis pour dire merci, il vaut dire merci, so, moi, dis merci. That project is a good project. I'm happy with it. It's motorable. Before, well, just four-wheel that could have go down there, but now cars could drive. So it's a good thing. Well, the road is better for the farmers now because when they drive in their goods now, it won't have to shake, nothing won't have to bruise, and it's better. It's just better.
For years, we wanted a little drainage on.
So no discrimination. It's not about Flambeau area or labor area. The works have been done throughout the entire communities for all of the people.
As we reflect briefly before we open the lines on what is happening there, this is what, as far as I'm concerned, this is what representation is about.
Yes.
Every sector of the community is being impacted. And that is what the Labour Party is criticizing. You heard how many fellas that the gentleman said is working on the drainage project, just the drainage project alone. Now think of all of these projects employ people within the communities. Outside of the major road projects, all the footpaths, the drains and these things, all of these are done by the people within the same communities where the works are being done. And I challenge anybody before me to show that they have created more employment in the constituency and have given more contracts to different persons, because some of them want to say is one set of people getting work and this. They can see the record from the ministry. I have given more contractors, different contractors work in the constituency than any other rep before me in Castries Southeast. So if we review every one of these projects, from the roads in Bele, this project that we started in Sandife, where it's under the Proud project, we are running pipes, we are putting footpaths, we are putting retaining walls, drains, and roads. This contract went through a tender process, and CIE, Reno, is the one who won the tender to do that project. But you see, the same Labour Party people will come and tell you, oh, this government is discriminating, they're fighting people, they're doing this. Everybody knows my position. I spoke in Parliament about Reno. I've spoken on the platform about Reno. But he's a local contractor.
That is right.
He's a St. Lucian. He employs St. Lucians. And if he gets a job to do, I will support him doing the job. Because at the end of the day, when you go through the tender process, whoever emerges, if I have to go and pre-select a contractor, I may choose somebody that I would want to give a job directly. But once it goes through the tender process, you have to respect the process and whoever emerges. So there are 3 contracts under the Proud Project in my constituency, which all went through the competitive bidding process. One of them was won by Reno, one was won by Dean Nicholas, that's from the Dennery Valley, and the other one by Jacob Construction. None of them are from my constituency. Yet still they won the tenders. The community center, the indoor facility we're building in Bexar, was won by James Cobb Construction. So think of it. He won 2 of the packages on the Proud Project.
In your constituency.
In my constituency. Yeah. And he won the project for the community center. But if it's Fresh Start Desi doing a job, they will come and tell you, oh, you see how many, because he has dealings with Fresh Start. You see, that level of dishonesty does not pay. Now, let me touch that point. Philip J. Pierre has been saying that we should take the money, and I don't want to misquote him, so I'm paraphrasing. And if I'm wrong, then I am subject to be corrected on that. He was saying that the money we are taking to build the road should be given, we should take that money to give to people.
Can you believe that?
Now, let me tell them, or no, I guess the Labour Party is saying if they were in government, that is what they would do. Now, here's what I want the people of St. Lucia to understand. You must first have the money to be able to give it. So does he expect that Alan Chasney will be there to raise the money and then pass it on to him? Because when they were there, they couldn't raise money.
They couldn't raise anything.
Dr. Kenny Anthony himself said.
I have the clip. You think I should play it?
That they could not raise. You want to?
I have it on my phone. Play it if you want to.
No,
but we want to take some calls, so we don't.
He said that they could not raise money. So you could not raise money in good times. Is under COVID, you'll be able to raise money.
Can you believe
to
it?
Give people. And they've been misrepresenting the truth. And that's why I read the thing about lies. To tell people that we're raising money for COVID and then we're taking it to go and build roads and these things. I mean, the Labour Party must stop this foolishness. If you want people to vote for you, present your track record. Show what you have done, how well you did it. Now, I didn't touch on it tonight, but I have it here. Dr. Kenny Anthony's budget speech, his first budget speech. But maybe there's just one part of it I wanted to touch on, which was privatization, page 63 and 64 of his budget speech. Because I tell people, I like to present facts to the people of St. Lucia. This radio station is a radio station that deals with the facts.
Yes, sir.
Not with what people think.
No propaganda.
So, I want to read it to the people of St. Lucia. So they've been criticizing this government for privatizing fisheries and the marketing board and these things. Budget speech, 1998-99 budget statement, 21st April 1998 by Dr. the Honorable Kenny D. Anthony, Prime Minister and Minister of Finance of St. Lucia. That is what I'm reading from. And the subtitle is Restructuring and Privatizing of the St. Lucia Marketing Board. And on page 64 it says, The second paragraph. In order for the St. Lucia Marketing Board to adequately perform this role, it needs to be strengthened and its relationship with key stakeholders comprehensively revisited and redefined. A policy decision has been taken. Hear this? A policy decision has been taken that the optimal form of reorganization of the St. Lucia Marketing Board at this juncture is full commercialization, leading ultimately to privatization. That is what Dr. Anthony said. But today the Labour Party will come and tell you, oh, Alan Chasney want to take and privatize the things. There's a section about Radio St. Lucia. I will come to it at another point in time. There's one other thing I want to say. Establishment of property tax unit on page 27. And here's what he said. The first policy measure of this fiscal year concerns London property taxation. In the Contract of Faith, which was the manifesto in 1997, the party that now forms the government indicated that it would increase recoveries from property taxes and from property enhancement brought about by public sector investment. Land and real property taxation has the potential to be a more significant source of revenue in St. Lucia. Most property owners have benefited from increase in property value that have taken place in St. Lucia in recent decades. So, how does property value go up? By the infrastructure. What is the infrastructure that government does? Isn't it roads? Mm-hmm. But these are the same people who telling you, do not do the roads. But they put in laws to tax people when they put in roads. But when we put $1.50 on the fuel, they come and tell you, you should not do that. Now, I will show you what they did at a subsequent time when he changed the price of fuel and he removed the license of vehicles and put it on the fuel. I will show, because I tell people, everything is there, you know. They have to see it and they have to understand that these people, the Labour Party, makes up all kinds of lies. They tell you one thing when they're in opposition and they tell you something completely different when they get into government. All they start finding is excuses. So they tell you they will take money and pay people. What did they say? They'll spend 100 immediately in the economy.
100 million.
And after 3 years, they could not spend the 100 million.
No.
And they tell you the immediately did not mean immediately.
And they took all what they found and squandered it. Anything else for tonight, Mr. Cameraman? Or
No,
you
we
want to
good on
reserve
that.
some
So
for
we need to,
next week?
We need to go to the phone line.
All right.
Because I'm getting a lot of pressure for not opening the lines early enough. Now, I had a whole section of this speech. So, one of these days, because we need to see what they say, you know. We need to see. I mean, if you read the section on the hospital, you would see what they said and what they were building at St. Jude's. They said one thing about what hospital. They said, I can just read the last. He said, Mr. Speaker, the government is committed to a total rehabilitation of this institution and has had such a significant impact on the lives of St. Lucians. And that is talking about Victoria Hospital. From 1997 to the time Labour Party lost elections, anybody saw a total rehabilitation of Victoria Hospital? The only rehabilitation, major rehabilitation, is as we turned it into the respiratory center.
Yep, and it's painted
but
very
you
beautiful.
see, these are the things, and they will come and tell you, oh, Prime Minister Chasney promised this and he didn't do it. There are lots of things. I will read about cul-de-sac and what he said about cul-de-sac community and who promised to develop cul-de-sac and how that never happened. And he will see that in the foresight of the development plan that was in place for cul-de-sac by the UWP government prior to 1997 is what is being realized in the cul-de-sac basin today.
All right. All right, Senator, it is 9:52, and we are turning on the phone lines. If you'd like to call into the program to ask the minister a question or concern, 4560931 is
Champagne, my
always
2
our
hours really
number.
coming quickly.
Yeah, the 2 hours have gone flown right past by. 4560931 is our number if you'd like to call in to the program to ask the minister a question. Mr. Minister, the housing project that we just saw there in Bel Air, is that Bel Air? Was that Bel Air?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bel Air.
Is that just land spots, or is going to be an inclusive of land and homes?
No, we're looking at lands for now. We got 3 of the sample houses from Dubai that we are in the process of mounting up.
Yeah.
So if people require these houses, then we would put things in place for them to be
Okay,
able
beautiful.
to get it.
Thanks for holding, caller. Good evening.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir.
Ça m'a voulu dire swear.
Oui.
M'a voulu parler about COVID.
Uh-huh.
Because il y a la porte moi. Moi ni un garçon moi qui travaille à dans certaines places côté health right, like I l'homme en place là.
Mm-hmm.
Avec right now là, il est malade.
Ah.
Oui. Avec moi voulais mon comprendre et puis ça, moi pourquoi je moi. Just tani parler yon ça de cacher chez moi et moi te mort. Et puis so moi que voulais passer cette commission en bas yo après ministre la a passé, pas ministre la a passé, nos docteur tout pour le monde pas qu'à coûter. C'est pour yo en disant pour yo savent qui ça y est. Moi quand m'a dit Saint-Lucien s'il plaît à nous prendre précaution. Et puis, on change ces nos, c'est docteur, c'est mon qui a travaillé dans cette qualité bagaille ça là, parce qu'il pas aisé. Il pas aisé. C'est pour, comme on toujours dit, c'est pas ni Covid, mon cas mort toujours, till mon cas plate head. On joue moi à son transport avec yon monsieur vient à plus bon mais ça ne fait pas ni un masse pédi. Mais merci beaucoup, je me tiens ça moi. Qui ça y est ça? Qui mine ça? Ça qu'a fait science? Hein? Avec l'opinion vous blâmer prime ministre. Nous ne pas blâmer prime ministre. Nous n'y pas blâmer qu'on nous. Oui, c'est ça nous n'y pas faire. Tout ça moi voulais dire pour PM moi souhaite tout ça qui est plus bon. Et puis tout simplicien. À nous faire ça nous pour faire pour nous pays nous aller devant. Comme moi toujours dit, même si on m'a dit fermer pays comme si dit ouais moi t'ai dit on y moi t'aller pays a qu'on on drum nous vide grand mazuna dit même si vous vide plus gloire dit grand mazuna a dit c'est là
ça oui
nous n'y pour pas quelque nous hein
oui
boss ouais
et ben moi au puis j'issue sorti à date à ça non oui après bon Dieu oui OK bien bonne soirée
ministre moi souhaite tout ça qui bon moi souhaite santé la force quoi et tout bagaille
merci un pile
bye bye
OK bye bye
et nous ca souhaiter tout le monde qui malade de Covid là tout ça qui bon on fait ça qui nécessaire pour nous ça protecter nous et protecter.
Beautiful evening to you. Hello.
Hi, hello, good evening, Champagne. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you.
You guys are having an extremely good program.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yes. I heard two things this evening because
the minister is there too. I'm not there. I'm not there alone. I call it. The minister is here as well.
Yes, I know. Good evening, Minister.
Good evening.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well enough.
Yeah, I heard something, and we listen to you guys like every time you have a program.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And the only thing I heard something about Sir John, which was not nice.
What was that?
The comment you made.
What was the refresh? I know the comment I made. No, hold on, caller, hold on, because we are live all over the world, and Sir John, all of us have a lot of respect for him to ask for me.
Thank you.
What did I say that it was not sitting well with you?
You made a comment like you said.
Not even in his time so much was done.
Now listen. Let me tell you exactly what I said. We were looking at the time frame. I said, in 4.5 years, that this UWP government has done more work, not even the great Sir John have done so much work in that time frame. That's what I said. I didn't say overall. You
All right,
understand what I
okay.
said? What I'm saying now?
All right, okay, we surpass that. So,
Right.
Mrs. Joseph, he could not have put it in a much better way to explain everything he said in terms of the covert. He has said everything the right way, what he was supposed to say. And I applaud you for that,
Thank you very much,
Minister
caller.
Joseph. No, I'm serious. You said it because there are a lot of St. people who really don't understand.
Yeah.
And you put it in the right way. So I hope they understand. Next thing is, I know you've been busy with doing a lot of road works, but at the same time, we need a little help down in Sarot. If you can assist us in any way, because the farmers are coming down, and
Where in Sarot?
in Malzin area.
Okay, I am aware we have the Malze Road down and the bridge because we know the bridge is very, very narrow
Yes,
to be
I
able to go
understand.
across there. So yes, we have that project down to be done.
Yeah, if we can just grade it to make it a little smoother because it like speed bumps with the mud area. Just if we can grade it a little bit better, it's all right. But I agree with you with everything. We listen to you every time you come on the show.
Thank you very much.
And you know, you are somebody I respect a lot
I appreciate
because
that,
of the
caller.
way that you go. I've been in all the constituency area. I've been around, and it's only good things you do. I'm not doing that to make you feel nice, but I'm seeing it for myself.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you can alleviate us, because sometimes the guys come down with bananas, and farming is very important right now.
I know. I have driven the road all the way to the river where the pipe is crossing the river in the Vanna area there. So I
Yeah.
am very familiar with the road that you are talking about.
Yes, okay, but you know what? Keep on telling them about wear the mask and do this thing. I agree 100% with you.
Okay.
And you're doing a great job.
Thanks.
All right, Colin.
All right.
Thanks
okay.
a lot. You
Good
have a
night.
good night. All right. Now, I have to respond to the caller because no one showed more admiration and
No,
appreciation
I
to
think
Sir John
he
than me.
understood what you
So
said.
I was just talking about the time frame. A beautiful evening to you. Hello.
Yes, it is a beautiful evening.
George Cooper, how you doing?
I'm good.
Sound
Good
good?
night, my favorite minister.
Good night, darling. How
How
you
are
doing?
you? How are you, Dudu?
I'm doing all right.
Praise
As
God.
best as I can in the circumstances, because believe
Yeah.
me, it's a lot of pressure during this time period.
I saw something today. I have a friend who sells in a tree, and I sit by her and see a guy who is not that too good in the head and the body bring some coins for her to buy something. She check the money good, and she put it in her thing. I tell her, you sanitize in your hand when you take money from them people. She tell me, when I reach home, I'll wash my hand. When I check it, this grocery bus stand, I had no problem with them because like this morning, I bought a bus on grocery stand. My hand was sanitized before I bought the bus. But the other bus drivers have to learn something from that because they take money from me, they give me change. That change, I go to buy something from somebody else, I give it to them. That other person go and give somebody else change all the time. And money is, my grandmother used to say, money is the dirtiest thing on earth.
So let me tell you what I have done. In my area, every single minibus association, I took $6,000 of my own money and bought the sanitizing machines to put one on each minibus
Station.
in my area.
Wow.
Bexon, Forestier, Lacroix, Badney, all of these areas. I gave every one of them through the National Council. We made the donation. so that these people can make sure they have the sanitizing liquid in there and the machine is available so that people can sanitize their hands coming in and out of the vehicles.
Okay. Now, on my bus stop, 5A, the drivers stay outside, they sit, they chat, they play domino. You board the bus full, you close the door, they come, they drive off. I give them $2, and I return, they give me 50 cents. I go home with COVID. Because
No,
they don't sanitize their hand.
but you
They
have
don't
to,
sanitize the money.
but you have to sanitize yours because
I
that's
does that. I does
that's
that.
why
I have
most
my
people
sanitizer. I does that.
most people
make
walk
sure I
around
have,
with a little thing of sanitizer. I do
I
have.
just make sure that I have exactly 150.
Okay.
If in case they give me change, I have $155, they give me change. As I disembark the bus, I put my change in my palm, I put my sanitizer, I wash it out with the sanitizer, and then I put it in my bag.
Okay.
Money could spread that disease very, very fast
yeah.
because people sneeze in their hand and the same hand they have the money in the
Yes,
same hand.
it's true. It's true,
My
caller.
ma'am.
You're right on that, caller. Very
But I
right.
tell you, I noticed that. I see that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
So
going to
I'm
be a...
telling her, well, that sickness could be running through the money business because money don't wash.
And if it does, that's going to be a tough call to be able to control that. It's going to be a
Everybody
tough
try to
call.
do the same thing. If you don't have sanitizer, you have a little rubbing alcohol, do it. You give the child the money to go and buy something, that child rub their hand in the face. COVID. Good night, everybody.
All right, George Cooper, have a good night.
In fact,
Yeah.
Beautiful.
in fact, Champagne, one of the sore points for me with this, I always give people rides on the road every time. These days you cannot even give somebody a
No.
ride. Sometimes you pass people that you are close to, you are good friends with, but you cannot even give them a ride because you don't know
Can't take a
what
chance.
level of exposure you have.
Can't take a chance. Thanks for holding, caller. Good evening.
Good evening, Champagne.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Joseph.
Good evening.
I want to tell you guys fantastic show tonight.
Thank you.
Very informative. Mr. Joseph, I want to say continue the good work.
Thank you.
Exceptional job being done. But I just want to take a little time to indicate to you that we have a little situation in Dayglow where when it rains, the river climbs over the bed, the bed and it floods the area. And the road is not too good.
Where exactly in Dayglow?
Inside Dayglow, when you start climbing up the Twapito Hill to the right-hand side.
To the right-hand side. Oh, that's by where the Rasta fella live in there.
Yes,
with
inside
the Mr. Bushy pickup.
Right,
No,
right, Mr. Joseph.
I am aware we did some desilting there. We are going to raise the level of the road there. I'm just waiting on the contractor to tell me when they are going to mobilize. I have spoken. I have gone inside there. I have met with some of the people in there. And so we have to put some boulders where the side of the river is eroding the road, continuing up. And we are going to do the first phase of the road getting to the bridge. That is the phase that we are going to do presently. So I'm fully aware of what you are saying and the location.
Okay, caller. That's it?
Great job. And I want to tell you, continue the great job you have been doing.
Yes.
Thanks.
All right, caller.
Okay, caller.
Have a good
Thank
evening.
you.
Beautiful.
You too.
All right. So I want to go back there in that housing project down there in Bel Air. Okay, let's do a call. Special good evening to you. Hello. Hello, good evening, sir. I'm doing good.
Good
Yeah.
night.
We're getting a little static there. I don't know if your location is not proper.
Mm-hmm.
I heard you mention the thing about the rum shop and them things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, there is a particular rum shop in Tong, Castries, central there, where they sell that dollar rum. Are you aware of that?
No, I would not be aware of that.
I know the area, caller.
Something you should know.
I know the area, yes. I know very well.
Right. This is something that should not be accepted at all.
Mm-hmm.
Dollar rum. young sellers inside of them,
Yeah,
and the face holding like this is a barrel.
I've seen it.
And I'm saying to myself, I wonder why the government gives that person that authorization to have this kind of thing, that dollar of which we are talking about alcohol and this and that and that. It is very
Yeah, well,
dangerous.
well, caller, the operator probably got a license, and whoever issued him the license probably didn't think that that is the way he was going to go.
No, but at the end of the day, we have to understand that all licenses have conditions. And once you see somebody gets to a certain level of intoxication, the law is that you should not continue to sell alcohol to that person. Now, I know before that used to happen, because as a child growing up, I know there are certain people, they would go to the rum shop and the rum shop owner would say, I'm not selling to you. Straight off, they would say that. I think there may be persons who are more senior in this business who would practice that today, but generally speaking, I mean, it's a free-for-all now.
But caller, for you, that establishment, you're just saying that it should not have been. Yeah.
No, but the person is not forcing anybody to come there and buy rum. At the end of the day, the rum is available for sale. It is not illegal, except in this COVID situation where we've put in a restriction on alcohol. And that is what we are saying, that it's a matter of behavior of our people. The same way they're not observing the COVID protocols. I mean, if you go, you take a drink, you take 2 drinks, then you should be able to know that, okay, I've had enough. But once you get to the stage of being an alcoholic, then that's a different ball game altogether.
Well, Mr. Minister, like you said, you don't know where the individual is speaking of, and I know where that area, and it is not a pleasant sight. And I don't want to get involved with the owner of the establishment, but I have seen it. A lot of young men go in there, and because of the availability in the pricing of that alcohol, a lot of people stay in there, and they all cluster together, and it's not one of the most pleasant sights.
No, but I'm saying that I like to be realistic in my approach.
Yeah.
Whether the thing is for free or whether it's being sold at a reduced price, you have to make a conscious decision to go there and buy rum to drink.
But what I'm saying, I don't think that place has any limit of selling to anybody when they come there. Because what I have seen with my own eyes, this is not something that they have a certain limit.
Caller, you're so distant, we could hardly hear you. You're so low.
I said, I don't think they have a certain limit of selling for you, whether you're drunk or not. Anytime because the way I'm seeing these fellas inside there, like as if the more they drink is the more they sell for them. You understand?
Well, like I said, I cannot speak to that. I can only speak to what I know, and I just highlight the basic principle. But what I was saying is that, as I said earlier on the program, if people cannot stay 2 weeks without alcohol in this country, we have a much bigger problem on our hands.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it, Colin? Anything else?
Well, all I'm saying that the minister, I'm not in his constituency, but I know for sure I passed this area already, and I think he's doing a very, very good job. And I'm only wishing him the best of luck and wishing him all the best.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Colin.
All right, Colin. You have a good night. What are your goals for Castries South? I know you have done a lot of work, but in the end result, what would you like to see of Castries South? We'll come back after this call. Beautiful evening to you. Hello.
Yeah, good night, Jonathan.
Good night to you, sir.
Good night.
Yeah, good show, man.
Thank you,
I like
sir.
exactly what the minister is doing in his constituency, and I hope most of the candidates for the United Workers' Party is looking at what you are doing. Because, you know, when people going up for political office, they come to your house and they said, well, you know, we're willing to give you the vote, but
this constituency has major problems. We need proper roads, we need electricity, we need water and stuff. But I have seen over the couple years, Mr. Joseph, you have done a wonderful job in the constituency.
Thank you.
And I admired, your appetite for working. And there's another problem. I was in Viewfort on the 31st day of December. And what I think there's a number of problems that the country going through. COVID, you have people with diabetes, you're hearing people dying of cancer. And one thing I do not like, and I want now, I'll have to tell Mr. Rago, Paka Rago Nanan, he been down there, the guy told him about what is taking place there, and he never came back to this place or to try to stop the guy. If I have a Creole bakery, well, it's Creole bread they make, so it's a Creole bakery. It's not right for people to take the pallets and to burn and then to bake the bread in the oven. It's wrong. I mean, people complain to the health. Mr. Paku Ranan went down there and I'm sure he'll send his officers to investigate the matter. This thing is ongoing.
But caller, let's pause a moment there. We need to be careful about the information that, because if the person is making bread, have they established that the use of the pallet, because my understanding is, I mean, my auntie used to bake local bread. You put the fire in the oven, and then you remove the fire to a side or something, you sweep the oven, and then you put the bread inside of it. So is there something chemical in the pallet or something that is unhealthy?
You're correct. You're correct. It has a lot in it. Because those people...
But from what I know, people cook food with pallets. They do all kinds of things with pallets. And I'm not saying that to justify it. I'm just saying that when you see, I want to be very careful when it comes to people's businesses, especially on a program like this, where you have so many listeners. If we go and label somebody's business as not being fair or not being right, then that can have implications for the person's business. And that's why I'm treading very cautiously. Even with the previous caller and the business that the person is running, once it's a legitimate business. So what I'm saying is that if I know that I am at risk, I know what measures I need to take to protect myself in the process. But to say that Mr. Ragnanan is not going down there and stopping the person, because stopping people from doing things is not just going and say, don't do that, It is usually a process. You've seen what the problems planning having. Somebody start building a house, by the time they give them a stop notice, then they have to go to court 5 years. The person built 10 houses already, and you can... So our laws in St. Lucia have problems.
Mm-hmm. But caller, what exactly is the problem?
No, listen, I've been down there and a number of people were saying they would not buy the bread because I went to certain houses and the fume.
Yes, but not everything people say we can just take it and that, because people may give different reasons. They may have a completely different reason for not buying the person's bread, and I don't want my program to become that people will start telling me we fighting their business.
I'm going to leave it because one of the guys is on vacation here for certain reasons, and then the man in the military, he came down here on a special thing to chill, and he has to go back because of the same fumes. The guy knows what he's talking about.
But caller, you have not said...
You cannot... Hold on.
I'm not going to buy the bread either if I go down
No,
there.
but you cannot even... Hold. Are you hearing me?
Caller, let the minister respond, please.
You cannot come and say that the fumes cause this and that. There must be the empirical evidence. Was the person tested by a doctor? Did they come up? Because that is what is passing in St. Lucia as facts. We cannot just go and say, for example, if I listen to the interviews about people who have had negative reaction to the COVID, the vaccine. And what the doctors are explaining is there may have been things that would have happened to somebody and it just happened to them at that time, but it's not necessarily because they took the vaccine or they got some treatment or something. So I'm just saying we need to be careful. We are a very small country. By the time you have that conversation on a talk show, everybody in St. Lucia would eventually know that's the bakery you're talking about. And I just finished promoting a bakery in my constituency. That's the Terville's Bakery in Beck. So I speak about bread masters. I mean, I love Tamazo bread. I don't know what wood they use in the oven at Tamazo.
That is why I wanted to ask the caller, for the sake of all of our people listening, what is the issue with the pallets, caller, if you know? No, well, you want to share that information with us because you brought it up. What is the problem?
It has a lot of issues, man.
What is it?
Well, I know the people down there listening, and I know...
No. Let's take off the people down there out of the equation. The pallet, it's...
So I think, according to Guy, just let me leave it like that.
All right, okay.
The guy, one of the guys that came down and he couldn't handle that.
All the fellas who making pudding and cooking meat and doing
that's what I'm
everything,
asking.
The guy said that's toxic. You know, one of the senior pilots under Ronald Reagan aircraft carrier, the guy just came down to chill his head and he breathing in this fume. The man went and checked the pallets and he said, nah, man, this is toxic, yo. You cannot deal with it.
All right.
Brother man,
wrong, man. You're supposed to use kapesh, proper wood, to heat up the oven. My father had a local bakery. You know that, champion.
Caller,
I know where your father
we've had pallets forever in St. Lucia. And I'm not saying that it doesn't have, if it's preserved, but pallets is the thing that take termite the quickest. And usually treated wood do not take termites.
You think the way the world is now, when them pallets come in now, that have a lot of toxic in it.
Well, we have other timber coming into St. Lucia as well, plywood and everything else. All right, caller. Well, thanks a lot.
But I know what I'm talking about.
All right, beautiful. I could not understand. You were supposed to let us know what exactly is wrong with the pallet. I want to rephrase my question earlier when I said, what are your goals? I know you have achieved many goals. But the end result, what would you really like to see Castries Southeast turn out to be? I know we have mentioned Cape State and all that, but let's take this call. A beautiful evening to you. Hello? Good evening. Hello? Caller, you could speak with us. Don't listen to your television set or your radio. Hello?
Good evening.
Yes, just talk to us.
Champion, in the slogan we put in people first.
Yeah.
Remember when the hospital ship came to St. Lucia?
Yeah, the, whatever, yeah, last year.
What was it? Was the mystery, whatever was the hospital ship?
Yeah, I remember.
When they came with their scare tactics, not to go to the ship.
Yes.
You remember that?
I remember.
Shastne making they use people as guinea pigs.
That is true. That is true. They said it was a gift from Donald Trump because he visited the White House and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
But they put in
Mar-a-Lago.
Have you ever heard any bad reviews on the visits that was, or surgeries that was done, or any medical procedure that was done on the ship?
I have not heard anything.
Thank you.
Yes.
Have a nice day.
All right, caller.
So caller,
hello?
Before you run, it's not just that. Where are the vaccines coming from? Are we producing vaccines in St. Lucia? Are these not the same countries we depending for the vaccine?
Yes.
So
they put in people first. It's just scare tactics and desperation.
Oh, no, they put in themselves first.
Yes.
They can destroy all the people. They don't care.
Yeah.
Just in the name of political
In the name of power.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, caller. Have a good one. Yeah. 4560931. We are going up to 10:30 or 11 o'clock, Mr. May. 10:30. We have another 9 minutes into the program. I asked you about Castries. Okay, let's do another call. Beautiful evening.
I'll have to answer that at the end.
At the end of the program. All right. Special good evening to you. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
You hearing me clearly?
Oh, yes, we can.
Okay. I want to request something to the authority. I don't know if they have it, any idea into it as yet. They're talking about measures, protocols, and so on. But have they ever thought of the places where people go in and recreate, like beaches and rivers, places like that, for them to have the public not to go to these places in coming weeks and so on? Would they have that in the protocol?
Caller, the public have been warned about
But that
that
is already in
from
the
last March.
protocols.
You remember that big river bash in Anslaway where I think 50 people were, arrested or asked to come into the police station last year in the midst of the virus?
Yeah, but it seems as though the public is not paying attention to it, because if you look at like you go to Pigeon Point, any given day you would swear there's a whole party going on
Oh,
there.
yeah.
So therefore it need to have strict measures at these places.
So do we put a police officer at every point, caller, or we ask the people to have their own responsibilities, their personal responsibilities?
Well, it seems as though people don't. It seems as though the people don't listen to the authorities. So when they reach at the place, they would find that they cannot get there. So as if they must have some security to tell them that they cannot visit that place.
But caller, that is almost impossible for anybody. Are we saying that as a people we are so indisciplined that we cannot? I mean, I find it hard to believe that we cannot do better than we are doing now. I find it very hard to believe that we must put police officers everywhere for people to control themselves. And I've been saying to people, whatever people want to do, they will find a way to do it. And I believe what is happening there is because people have not, as the lady said, when this matter hits home, then people begin to react differently. But I'm really hoping that we will come to terms with the reality before it gets any worse than it is now.
Okay, my second point, sir, is that have we think of the homes?
You're talking about the homes for the elderly?
No.
The people's homes.
Yes. Let me point out something to you. This is a grassroots man talking there. My observation. It's not anybody that go to any high school anyway. But my observation is that we, the public, we follow the protocol outside our home.
You are very right, caller. I said that earlier.
Right. Now what I observe is like how many households have a sanitizer kit, like to sanitize their
yes, the hand sanitizer machine, yes.
Right. When they live in their house. Because as soon as you leave your house, you go to a bus, you go to anywhere, and you don't know who these people are. So it starts from the house.
You have a valid
so
point,
my thought would be, if we can get to most of the some of the houses, that check of the houses, how the condition of the houses, how they are, who live in there, how they live in, and what they have. Do they have anything to protect their own self in the house? Sometimes they might not even could be afford
to buy those things.
Now, caller, if you permit me to just butt in there quickly and say, I agree with you.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm telling you, that is why when those who have the convenience can ask for a shutdown, because the house is big enough, they can accommodate, they can do everything. Those who cannot afford will be the most impacted by a lockdown, as the people are asking for. And you are right. I believe our children are safer in school than out of school.
Oh, yeah.
Because when they are in school, they must follow the protocols. I believe that most people are safer at work
Oh, yeah.
than they are at home. So what we are attempting, what people are asking for, I don't think it's going to solve the problem. I can be wrong, but I don't see it as being able to solve the problem.
Caller, your
That is
observation is
yeah,
spot on.
Yeah, that is exactly my point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't believe nobody get any coroner at a workplace or in a supermarket or in a bank. You go, you do your business, you come out. It's the place where they recreate.
That's where
at
the
home.
problem is called.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the two places I strongly believe that's where it's coming from.
And caller, the point you brought up about regarding the homes,
Yeah.
I'm not at everybody's home, but I could tell you a high percentage of homes don't have those hand sanitizer machines or even hand sanitizer themselves.
But rightfully you
I'll
don't
listen
need.
to you on
Okay,
on
thanks a
this.
lot,
Yeah.
caller. Thanks a lot.
But rightfully you don't need sanitizer at home, because a sanitizer is a substitute for water.
Okay.
Whenever there is water, you don't need to. So
need
we
to
ask
wash your
people
hands.
to use sanitize, because you don't have pipes, you're not walking around with big bottles of water and everything. But when you're at home, the
Wash the
best
hand.
thing is the regular washing
Yeah.
of the hand.
That is true. Special good evening to you. Hello.
Special good evening.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, Minister.
Good evening.
I want to congratulate you on your work in your constituency
Thank you.
and by our country by extension.
Mhm.
I want to tell you also, don't worry about the St. Lucia Labour Party. You all are doing what you all have to do, and that's what that matters. As you may know, if you make out the voice,
Mm-hmm.
I was a member of the St. Lucia Labour Party. When it comes to jobs, I had 3 jobs as a member.
Mm-hmm.
They took it from me and gave it to another member.
Okay.
So what they are telling you there is what they are doing. They are accusing you all of doing.
Mm-hmm.
You see? That's the whole thing. So you don't have to worry with them. You all have to do your work. And we have seen, the people of St. Lucia, what you all are doing, and that's what's important.
Now, caller, I hope did you leave the Labour Party because you were not given those jobs, or you left them because they?
Because they tried that
Mhm.
with Mr. Timothy Polio, stated that to me.
Uh-huh.
Because when these things happened to me, it was way before 2006. And I left in 2006. And the third one happened to me in 2013, which I had already left.
So caller, let me just say to you, I'm not worried about the Labour Party, you know. I'm concerned about the people of St. Lucia and the misinformation coming from the Labour Party. And they change their position every day conveniently. As the older people say, si l'on va, la coq perché. That is how the Labour Party operates.
I know that.
They have no consistency in anything that they do. So today they tell you don't do that, and tomorrow they say do that.
Yeah.
So today the people, they tell you, look at things they said about Richard Frederick, and I will come to that on my show, you know.
Yeah.
Look at the amount of things they said about Richard Frederick. Today I hear he's slated to be the candidate for the Labour Party in Central Castries. The same. So you have to know the nature of the people that you deal with. I've said to people, the Labour Party themselves don't believe what they say. I don't know why the people of St. Lucia would believe them. Yo même ki ka di bay lek yo pa ka kwe ko yo.
Bon, qui ça Richard did about you?
Okay.
And one more thing. The development by St. Jude's, the land, where one has to go if they want information, price, and listing.
That land, the one where we were doing the housing development, the one we just won the case in court.
Yeah.
NHC, National Housing Corporation. We are going to start the office in Viewford because we have about 2 or 3 housing projects that's going to get started down there. So we would be able to accommodate the people down there so that they don't have to come to Castries. Well, we are presently negotiating. I said by mid-February, I want to close the arrangement of negotiations for the housing development by St. Jude. And then hopefully by March, we can open the office down there once the project has started. But I'm not going to open the office if the project has not started, because then you would not really have anything to get the office operational for.
Okay. I always want to know how things are with St. Jude's and the airport.
So I can answer for St. Jude.
I know.
I know that they are starting the ground floor casting tomorrow. They've completed most of the plumbing works, and they are starting to put the studs for the division of the
clads.
The cladding on the no, not the cladding for the outside. The partitions on the inside. So that should be starting off this week.
How about the electrical?
Electrical has been ongoing. There's quite a bit of work being done by Dr. Fred Isaac. I think he's the lead consultant on the electricals at the hospital, and they've been putting things in place too. So all of these are ongoing. Plumbing, electrical, the pipe work for the gas lines and everything.
So electrical and mechanical is, you are satisfied with the mechanical and electrical?
Yes, all of these things are moving parallel.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I want to wish you and your government the very best.
Thank you.
I hope you all continue to push your agenda as far as the development of our country. And something I heard, some people were talking about violence if the election is not called in June. I want to say to the Prime Minister, to you and the members of Cabinet, don't let this gibberish talk affect you all. Do what is right for the people of St. Lucia. St. Lucia do not belong to the Labour Party and the supporters. It belongs to us.
All of us.
Single St. Lucia. You know, the UWP is not a violence party. The Labour Party are trying to instill fear in St. Lucia, and they will not succeed this time. That is what they did in 2011, and that worked. That won't work again. I wish you a pleasant evening. I wish you all the best for you and your family, and Champagne, the same to you too.
Thanks a lot, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Have a great evening.
Yeah.
All right, so Mr. Minister, we do one more. That's
One
it.
more call.
One more call. So you could go ahead and maybe start answering. I'm just curious to find out what would you like to see the end result of Castries office. We're going to take this final call. You are our final caller for the evening. Hello.
Yes. Good evening, Champagne.
Good evening, sir.
Mr. Minister, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I'll make it just quick and short.
Yeah.
Mr. Minister, listening to you there tonight, and the way that you and your government care and concern about St. Lucia and St. Lucians, the welfare of people, the well-being of people, the health of people, do you believe that your opponent, the Labour Party, is of the same view and the same ideology with your party?
Well, I wish you'd stay on the line to allow me to answer that question.
I will.
Okay, so there is no, I have always said that the Labour Party, they have some very bright, brilliant people educationally on their side. But that does not amount to care and concern for the people. The Labour Party is about being in office. And I intend to deal with that Gouvernement Malewe syndrome. Anybody who wants to remain a Malewe can support the Labour Party. Anybody who wants to make money and to grow from where they are, you cannot support a government where its mandate is to keep you poor. Because you have to understand the psychology of positive thinking and how, if poverty is a cycle, it goes from one to the other, from generation to generation, and very few people can break the cycle of poverty. So usually you find the same families, it's perpetuated from one to the other. Now, I'm not pretending to be a psychologist, but when a government prides itself on being a government of Malewis, it means that they don't want nobody to come out of poverty or their key group. And I don't know if you know the book Animal Farm. If you read that book, you would understand the structure of the Labour Party is like that book of Animal Farm, where they said all what we are doing is for the people. So the people not supposed to have anything, we are supposed to have everything, and they have to depend on us. That is why Philip J. Pierre will tell you, give the people the money. People want, in St. Lucia, people want to work for their money. How many times can you give people money? Whereas if you create jobs, people develop a skill, then they can be independent. They don't have to depend on the government. But once the government keeps them poor, then they have to be running to the Labour Party government every time. So the ideology and the philosophy is very different. And I want anybody, maybe more educated than me, go and study the psychology of poverty. What makes people poor? Once you believe that you are always going to be poor, you believe that the world is against you, you believe that everything is working against you. And Labour Party causes people to be there. They want you to be poor so you can depend on them.
Yeah, so, Mr. Minister, what you are saying is that the Labour Party...
Hello?
Yeah, Mr. Minister, what you are saying is that the idea of the Labour Party is just like a generation curse then.
Yes, but that is, I mean, you are telling me that all you want to be all your life. So you don't want the people to get rich at all? You don't want the people to move from poverty to middle income?
Yeah.
How do you plan to do that? They destroyed the middle income economy in St. Lucia when they introduced VAT. And more people went into poverty under the Labour Party. And you hear them talking about poorest community, poorest this, poorest that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But, Mr. Minister, I will say something here. Mr. Minister, today I was having a discussion with some people. And you see that same thing you're talking about it? We had that discussion. And I said to them, the Labour Party wants to give St. Lucian money. Okay, how long that they can give money. And where they
But
getting the money
the
from?
first thing I said is you have to have the money to give it.
Exactly.
So because Prime Minister Alan Shasney was able to raise money, then they are saying, but they don't realize if they are there, there's no Prime Minister Alan Shasney to raise the money for them.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was saying, Mr. Minister, you must have money to give money. Now, when you give money, money will finish because people will spend it.
And here's the thing.
But once you spend in more than you earn in, it must finish.
That is what I was about to say. How much money can you give? How much? How much?
Exactly. How much can you give and how long can you continue
And how long can you continue to
But
give that amount?
caller, you see, that is where the problem with the economics of the Labour Party does not work. So when you give people money, you can only give a certain number of people money. You cannot give everybody money. Because even if you take the whole budget, and somebody did the calculation of the 300 million divided by the population per day, and they came up, they said $5, but it's actually about $4.65 because I did the calculation myself. So it's about $4.65 a day. But outside of that, talking real economics, the multiplier effect of money is supposed to be 4 times. So if you spend $5, it's supposed to have a multiplier effect of $20. How does it accomplish that? If I come and I give you $2,000 and you spend $200 of that $2,000 and you go and put the 1,800 in a savings account, that 1,800 comes out of circulation. So the multiplier effect is 4 times 2, 200, which is $800. Whereas if the 2,000 had been put into expenditure, immediately you would have the multiplier effect of $8,000 as opposed to $800.
$800, yeah.
Now, here's what we are doing. Here's the difference between us and the Labour Party. The Labour Party said they would give people money. I know that's a lie because they know they would not be able to raise money. So it's easy to tell people anything because they're out of government. So if they want to fool the people to vote for them, you can just buy hot l'argent gouvernement. They didn't give it to people when they needed it. They were paying step workers $20 a day. We came in and we were paying the same step workers $50. They came back, they couldn't reduce the $50. What did they do? They reduced it to 7 days work at $50, which is $350, and they reduced the amount to 100 people per constituency. In my constituency alone, I'm doing 400 and 500. So it just tells you, so going back to the economics of it, when we do the works that we are doing there, look at how many, let's take, they say if we take $50,000 and we build a footpath or a drain as I did in Cooley Town there. How many people worked? About 8-10 people work on the project.
Correct.
They hired a truck. The truck brought in the sand. Where did they get the sand? They went and buy the sand from one of the persons. They bought block. They bought steel. So all of these people, all of a sudden, have been impacted. That money is distributed to everybody. The little money they would give you, the most you can do is go and buy groceries. As soon as you buy groceries from Massey, that money leaves and goes back to Trinidad.
Yeah.
That's the reality of where we are. Because we don't even own the supermarkets in St. Lucia again.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So when the Labour Party come and talk this foolishness, that's why they cannot challenge me on these matters, because the economics that they are presenting is flawed. It doesn't work. It's much better. You see what we are doing with the money? Because you get 2 results. You still get the money to the people, But you have something to show for the money at the end of the day, and the country benefits, and the country has the potential to grow. So I will give you one example. You see that piece of road we showed in Sandife, where we did the concrete road.
The other man was praising it.
There was a sign of land for sale before we did the road. If you go there today as we build the road, I am sure the price for the land would change. It must change, because all of a sudden you have added value. Now, if I had just taken the money and go and give 10 people in Sandife $500, $1,000, when they finish spending that money, what happens? The farmers still don't have a road to go to their farm. Their vehicles still getting damaged. And we promise them, listen to me, we promise them that the $1.50 we are taking is to fix the roads, so that what they pay in gas, they will save it in wear and tear and parts on their vehicle. We are not going to lie to the people of St. Lucia. But Labour Party wants to tell you they will do otherwise. But Usab, c'est pour la pas gouvernement. So you said the nepot story you vle, because c'est l'habitil yo.
But, Mr. Guy, Mr. Minister, you know they're not lying, because you know the same way you give me all the details of the economic factor. Philippe J. Pierre, you remember, it was the same Mr. Pierre who said $5
can block a hole,
can feed somebody in solution for a day. So therefore, if you have a calculation, so Cody, Labour Party government can't say this back, because you have
Nou pedu kola, nou pedu.
Ou ped mwen?
Ah, ebe nou kata nou aprezen.
Ok. Se ou ni an moun ki fe premier ministre, kad moun kon sa $5, sa souen an moun. Ou kompon? Ki kalte premier ministre ki la?
But
Ki sa mi se ni a chey?
no, so you should ask him where the $5 can feed him a day, because that takes us back to the book of Animal Farmer I was telling you. The $5 is not for him. The $5 is for you. For the rest of the people of St. Lucia. Because that is the mentality of the Labour Party. You are not supposed to come out of poverty under the Labour Party. You are supposed to remain poor. Everybody in St. Lucia is supposed to go to them. Si vous voulez live by issue, I wear you. Si vous voulez uniforme, I wear you. Si vous voulez tant gas, I wear you. Yo pas vle ou travail pour on l'argent.
Mr. Minister, encore, I am saying, again, if you check the way things happening now in St. Lucia, and I was telling the guys, Monsieur, we have how many contractors and local contractors, and they are building roads, they are fixing roads, they are doing drains. The only contractor that we have that is working in St. Lucia that is foreign is C.O. Williams.
But you presently, I mean, CEO has been here for so long. Yeah.
So I am saying every contractor in St. Lucia, you have Ned, you have C.O. Williams, you have James Scott, you have Fresh Start, you have Reno Kojada, you know, and everybody has a team of workers.
And you know, caller, if the Labour Party was spending half of that money we're spending on roads, there would be more foreign contractors in St. Lucia than local contractors. And the record is there to show. CCI, Lagan, all of the Gadakan, all of the companies are there to show.
Oh. So, moi-même, quand je dis qui manière un monde qui a une bonne idée, ça aller et puis support en compagnie monde qui prend mes simpliciens. Qu'on a moi, ministre, peut-être moi, wrong,
No,
Men
but
mwen ka dou,
remember,
because tout manye se bouk sa la pale, tout sa se bouk sa a fe. Se an gen servise. Mise minister, ou mwen ou ni aseraj konde ou kay chonje sa. Le Mr. Compton, te in charge of St. Lucie, Public Works. Mr. Compton te ni Public Works, ada manye, every quarter, i ka bay un different contractor travay.
Oui.
Le Labour Party entwe en 1997, yo tiye sa, ek tout moun ki ni pou tahay Public Works, ni pou minister, ni pou konet li, minister, ni pou sav ki les parti gay son bot, ek yo chanje sa, mise minister.
Sa vwe.
Ou ka di men sa se yo parti ki an me set lisye? Se pou sa apan me set lisye, mise minister.
Nou tout sav sa. Nou denye sav sa. Ak yo menm sav sa tou.
Yo sav sa tou.
Asi we.
Tout sa yo ni at che yo pou set lisye se mouves pe.
Mwen hadou, depi le nom ka di bayek, yo menm pa ka kwe koyo. Masav pou ki sta lesta moun set lisi ka kwe Labour Party ya. Kome kou Labour Party pou kwenen nou? Kome kou yon pou mantiban nou? Pou we dat sa yo ka di ya pa vwe?
Mwen pa vwe. Mwen ka chwe le se mouk sa goume. Se mouk sa goume pou Compton, John Compton, Sir John, pati implement NIC ou sav.
Oui.
Se mouk sa ve roro, yo di kon la Compton le vole la jen moun. E ka cholman, pou e mod seleba ka koui avan 20 seconds. Ale ay chol la hangen ay bebe.
Même l'argent, hein?
Même l'argent Compton te kay vole ya. Apre se pou e mod se sopote seleba. Ou sa ki sa yon di mwen jou? Gason, ou sa mwen amade Mise Compton pardon? Mwen di apre Mise Compton mwen amade pardon, sa san vie pardon gason.
At least he we koy.
Non, il faut qu'on reconnaisse, monsieur le ministre, parce qu'il y a une situation pour Dieu. Là où est qu'on, who can realize I did something wrong and I repent. But so we can repent, we can work on. Anyway, something I don't
All right,
know.
Connor.
All right.
Have a good evening.
Right.
All right, beautiful. All right, so Lucia, so we have come to the end of the calling session.
You had to make sure I go to 11 o'clock. Huh?
Yeah, it is almost 6 minutes to 11 o'clock, and I don't think you would want to engage me in the question I asked you earlier. So
yes,
and I wanted to rephrase and ask you what are your goals? And I know you have achieved many goals in the constituency, so I want to ask you what are the end.
My intention is that the constituency of Castries Southeast will continue to develop and contribute much more to the economy of St. Lucia. And my focus for this coming election is to develop more development of the people. I have done a lot of infrastructure development within the constituency. Roads, footpaths, drains, community centers, playing fields, lighting. I want to focus, I need major improvement on homes. I still see the living conditions of a lot of people below standard. In fact, the Prime Minister and myself, we had a lengthy discussion, and I have brought it to my Department of Economic Development and also the Ministry of Housing to ask, what do we consider the minimum standard house or living condition that is acceptable for us as a country? I know everybody can live on a mansion on top of a hill or to have their swimming pool, but there must be a basic minimum standard that we aspire to, where every household, we will not get there in a year, in 2 years, we may not get there in 10 years, but at least you must have that goal that you set, and that as people begin to build, and that they are going to attain to that standard. And you have to create the enabling environment. I want to develop more of the people skills within the constituency. So human resource development is one of my areas of focus, where people would not come to me to ask me for a job. People would be creating jobs themselves. because you can develop the skill set to be entrepreneurs. Because we have a lot of that in Castries Southeast, and that is something I need to build up on. So once people are well educated and trained, they can take care of themselves. There's less dependence upon the state. And as you have seen, the development that is taking place in the central part of cul-de-sac coming up to Bexon is going to make the community, we call it the crossroads. The crossroads between north and south, where everybody who's going that way goes through the community, where you must be able to stop there. So I have heavy focus on education. And these are not goals that you just put on a paper. And that is why I've made substantial investment in Sir Arthur Lewis students. So for this year, we sponsored about 36 students, between 32 and 36. Some of them was rollover from last year, and some of them for this year, this academic year. We have been investing in that. I have negotiated 5 scholarships at 75% scholarship. So they only pay 25% of the tuition for the people within the constituency. And as soon as one student completes, so we've had about 6 or 7 students who have completed the process, and now others are replacing them. So we have a number of students at Monroe College now, which is through what I am doing directly, not the government. That is what I'm doing as a person in the community. Heavy investment in education at the primary school, at the secondary school level, to make sure that everybody paying CX is doing these things so that people have an education. I'm working with a gentleman in the community who has some equipment, and we are trying to identify a piece of land to be able to help him to develop a training school for grader operators, for excavators, and on all types of equipment. Because we have nowhere in St. Lucia other than if you spend some time on a piece of equipment with somebody and you learn it. Like most of the truck drivers used to be footmen, and they eventually became a truck driver.
That's right.
But these people do not have a certificate to show that, look here, I have the skill in this area, because the world is going in that direction. Everything now is equipment. Champagne, if you have a little drain to dig now, is equipment. People want people not doing that manual labor anymore. So these are some of the things that we are developing, and there's no one size fits all. Then we are looking at tradesmen. We are lacking the skill set of tradesmen now, because everybody is going to secondary school, and the technical vocational training that was required is no longer there. I was trying to get one of the factory shells in Odsa. I've worked with the care school to try and develop. In fact, I negotiated, we had some negotiations with the Indian government where a grant was made available, and we were looking at taking the George Charles Secondary School and refitting it to be the care school, but then there have been some other discussions, because care is doing an excellent job in training people. So all of these things that I am looking at, that's why people will come and put a nice plan on paper and tell you, oh, I'm going to build this. Today, one of the discussions I had in the community that I was in, and the young person said to me, you know, you're not doing anything like a community center and these things. I said, how does a community center develop people? And I said, give me an example of one community center in St. Lucia that's, if it's not a birthday party, a dance, a wedding or something, that's the only use of the community center. So if the government is going to spend $1 million to do something in an area, don't you think that if we spend half of that and we invest the money in people development, that we are better focused. And that's why for the CDP project, we went back and renegotiated with the Taiwanese government. And that's why we are doing all of the sporting facilities to world-class standards, so you can develop the future. Now, the Labour Party will tell you, yeah, one laptop per child, but a laptop without the requisite information on it and the teaching skills and everything is just like any other device that would be available. We are specially outfitting these with the books and the lessons and everything for the students. So when I look at my constituency in particular, there's a heavy focus on the infrastructure during this term. Because if I want to upgrade the skills of a young person, but they still have to wear 3 pairs of shoes to get by the road, they still have to go and get a pipe to wash their feet when they get there. So you have to do these things in parallel while you're bringing up their value education-wise, you improving their living conditions. And throughout the length and breadth of Castries Southeast, that is what I have been doing. But I'm not doing this just to gain a vote. I am doing this because there's a bigger picture. There's a development thrust towards people development. We hear them talking about youth economy and this and that. That's all that is cheap political talk.
A lot of talk.
What is the investment in these same young people? What is the Labour Party's track record of investment in these young people? When you tell me a student gets the 7, 8 subjects, but because their parents cannot afford, they cannot attend Sir Arthur Lewis, and they now have to find a job. When I have done my research, there's a university we call University of the People. It offers free courses up to the master's degree level in limited areas. What I have redirected a lot of young people to go in there and to do the things that are necessary. All you pay is a registration fee of $60 US, and then you pay for the exams. But most of the things, it's very cheap. Maybe cheap is not, it's very affordable.
And that's online.
Yes, it's online. Before COVID, we were opening a center down in the constituency along with the apprenticeship program that is run under the Office of the Prime Minister. And what we were going to be doing there is to run a series of skills training. So whenever I have to send young people out for interviews, they would tell you when their jobs available and everything. My wife would come in. She has the skill in this area. She would prep them for the interview, do the training, help them with the soft skills, because sometimes the approach and how you conduct yourself, how you dress, and all of these things. We run a number of training programs through Sandals. When Sandals had their training program. And a lot of the young people in my constituency got employment through that program at Sandals, not necessarily at Sandals, but once you had done the training, you would be able to venture into any of the other hotels. We did a number of programs with the cruise ships. We conducted the interviews from within my office. We assisted them in the training and everything that was required. Because when you develop people, and they say when you teach a man to fish, he can take care of himself and his family. And that is the approach. So it's a broad-based plan for the constituency. It's developing entrepreneurs, getting people to live in minimum standard housing, and doing the infrastructure that is required.
Well, Mr. Minister, I can't say anything else because well explained to all of the people of Castries Southeast and St. Lucia by extension. But next week, our people, you know, I've gotten some calls where people say, Champagne, the minister needs to continue to bring the lies of the Labour Party, the ones that are on documents.
Oh, yes. So next week, I will show you all the things that Dr. Anthony promised in his first budget speech.
Yes.
And the people of St. Lucia will be able to look at it and see after 15 years of being Prime Minister, how many of them was fulfilled.
Okay. All right, you heard it for yourselves, and Lucia, we want to say thank you very much for tuning. Yes.
Let us observe the COVID protocols as much as possible.
That is right. All right, St. Lucia, this program has been brought to you with the kind compliments of Bryson Company.
When I jumped.
Join us next week. Join us next week, St. Lucia, for another program with the Minister, Honorable Guy Joseph, for the program Inside Castries Southeast. And we hope you could join us.
Available in the country. And for a limited time only, just for you, Bryce has crazy discounts on its water tanks. Prices have been slashed, so everyone can get their Bryce water tanks in a range of sizes. Our quality water tanks are produced locally, and we will deliver free of charge anywhere on the island. Yes, free island-wide delivery. Take advantage of this huge sale on Bryce water tanks and get ready for the dry season or any other event that may affect your water supply. It's the biggest sale ever on Bryce water tanks. Get yours today. You'll never run out of water again. Come to any of our locations in Bidbutay, Grosley, Viewfort, or call 454-6344, 450-8201, or 453-1868. And get your discounted Bryce water tanks today.
Promotion starts February 1st.
And that was today's St. Lucia, and what is the biggest advantage on that is they do free delivery island-wide. Bryson Company for the best in all of your water tanks. And you remember last year we had this drought, so you don't want to be caught off guard. Get your water tanks from Bryson Company today. All right, St. Lucia, tomorrow morning I'm going to be back here from 9 o'clock with the program Champagne in the Morning. And before that, we have Keeping It Real, the morning edition, right here on Sky FM with yours truly, Brother Norbert Williams. Tomorrow evening, Brother Norbert Williams will be on channel 117 Hot TV, simulcast right here on Sky FM. And then we have the man, Dr. Secret, in the afternoon at 4:30. Boy, we're bringing you some programming here at Sky FM that we want to keep you on your toes all day long. So until tomorrow morning, St. Lucia, I want to say to you, do have a great evening. Always remember to say thank you to the great God above, and we will see you tomorrow.
And there was a lot of them. All I remember was I was sick as a dog. I had scabies all over my lower body, and I was skinny as a pencil.
Your purpose every day had been just getting enough food to survive, to make it through the day. What became your new purpose, would you say, when you were in the orphanage?
I think genuinely I had a life that somebody cared for me. When I saw everybody getting up in the morning and having breakfast, getting changed, being bathed, and going to school and learning English, it was a different routine for me. I think I liked it. And I start, realizing, wow, they did say Canada. I think that was the mindset. Stay there, get better. And I was liking it.